Welcome to Dwarven Forge Live. This is our special 25th anniversary special?
It's a special.
Dwarven Forge retrospective.
Yeah.
We are here in the studio with Stefan Picorni, the founder of the Forge, the OD, the old school dwarf, the original dwarf.
I think that means something very different.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
a good one.
Stefan the OD, as they. Welcome, Stefan. We're gonna hang out for an hour and talk about all the everything. How the heck did we get here? Where are we going? Why are we here? Who's on first? Whatnot.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody.
Woo! So we are doing these streams in honor of Reliquaries. We have a Kickstarter going on right now that's going to be running for another 5 days, 6 days till Friday,
Yes.
whatever that is.
Seeing a couple people here looking for the code. We've got the code on the overlay. You can also put exclamation point code in chat. We're giving away today and tomorrow's stream as well. We're going to have a code for a free
Dave,
Electrum
is the
chest.
mic on?
Yeah,
Yes.
we can hear you.
What you can hear? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay, they can hear me. Just checking.
We're in.
All
We
right.
did it.
Houston, we've got you.
We're good. We're good.
So we
Today and tomorrow, we're gonna have a code on the stream for a free Electrum chest in Idle Champions. And also, if you back the Kickstarter, if you back Reliquaries at any dollar amount, even the $1 amount, you will get a code for Hugh Man, which is the 3 kobolds in a trench coat, as well as a skin for him. It's called Hammer Man. It's a nice Dwarven Forge skin of Hugh Man, and I think.
So it's three
I think
kobolds
three chests.
in a trench coat
Yeah.
with beards
Yeah.
and dwarven helmet and a big hammer. So it's like the ultimate version of Human, dwarven hammer
Yeah.
man.
Better than human.
And three chests.
The link
right?
to the Kickstarter? Yes. Let me put that in
Woo.
right now.
And we
Oh, somebody else beat me to it.
we're gonna do a giveaway at roughly the halfway-ish point for $50 in pledge manager credit. So
Yep.
stick around and keep your ear out for the secret word. So Stefan, start prepping a secret word. The
last
secret
one was-
word may be sloshed.
The last one was so nice. Sorry, mod
Are
training.
you
It's okay,
drink-
Finley. I appreciate it. I should realize you're there.
Stefan, are you drinking champagne out of a stein?
That was Duvel.
Oh, I didn't see it open.
Sorry.
That's- Sounds
Belgian
like it.
Ale, folks, my favorite. Celebrating 25 years.
Woo! Hey, I'll drink to that.
Should do 2 at 25 for the 25th anniversary. Do two $25 gift pledge manager credits instead of 150.
Wow,
Have to have 2 people be kind of happy instead of 1 person really happy.
really happy?
Yeah.
Not crazy. So, or do 4 $25 ones. Get
4
crazy.
$25 ones.
We'll get there when we get there. All right, so Stefan, I have a lot of questions for you to kick things off. But is there anything that you want to? Is there anything you want to make sure we touch on tonight? Is there anything? Do you have an agenda? Do you have a plan?
Yes. Let's talk about Dwarven Forge.
Woo!
Man, I didn't think we were going to... I really wasn't planning on talking about Dwarven Forge tonight. I don't know about
Well,
you.
let's do it. So
All
there's a fantastic documentary called The Dwarvenaut. Maybe I'm a little biased, so I might have made, but so people that have seen that are probably familiar with the origin story. But for anybody that hasn't seen the origin story, do you want to give us a little elevator pitch, like the 1 minute version of like how did this even happen? How did Dwarven Forge come to be 25 years ago at Gen Con, August of 1996?
How did the company start, or how did the Dwarvenaut get made?
No, the
What
company, Dwarven Forge.
Oh,
For people who have not
Oh.
watched the Dwarvenaut, what's the quick elevator pitch? Like, what's the short version?
they gotta watch the Dwarvenaut. I mean, that's first
Given.
of all, you gotta get that.
We're not gonna say it here.
Blu-ray
We have
Make
to
it a
watch the
teaser for the Dwarvenaut. Why would they
Blu-ray
want to
disc.
watch?
I mean, that tells a life story and everything. It's a bizarro trip. And get the Blu-ray because that has an hour of extra stuff on it.
Woo!
But anyway, going back to the very beginning. I learned to play Dungeons and Dragons at summer camp at Camp Mackinac in Massachusetts. The archery counselor gathered us kids. We were like 10, I guess, around 10 years old. Gathered us in the bunks and said, you know, hey, we're going to play this game called Dungeons and Dragons. And we're like, what the hell is that? You know? And but obviously we were intrigued. I was intrigued, especially because I was just then reading The Lord of the Rings.
Woo.
So I'm reading The Lord of the Rings, and D&D happens upon me at the same. Can you imagine how my mind was blown?
You were
So
suddenly Bilbo Frodo Baggins.
it was pretty life changing. It was life forming, you know, like it blew my mind completely. Uh, and then so I started playing at a young age, but I didn't know anyone in the industry. I bought the books,
10.
know, and Gary Gygax said, "Hey, make up your own world." That's basically so what I did. I made up Mithras and City of Valoria, and not at first, not that first. First, I was a player, and then you know, like everyone else, I discovered this game and I played and played, and then there were brief times when I didn't play, like, but then I kept coming back to it, and then I got very into art, being an artist, sculpting and painting and drawing, and I went to art high school, and during that time I was playing a lot of D&D. Then I went to college and Hartford Art School, and then a lot of D&D happened there. I had the whole dormitory was playing in my world of Mithras there and getting killed every night. And that's where the reputation was born, folks. Hack and slash, you know. And you know, so what I loved about the game was the artistic side, you know, and I enjoyed to draw the maps.
Yeah.
And to create the dungeons and to create the world. That's what really, it was the creativity part, the creative part of D&D that really I latched onto. And I didn't play any modules. I didn't go to Gen Con. I didn't do anything like that. I just made this world. I would spend hours and hours dreaming up things in my head and making it up and home brewing it a lot. And it wasn't until let's see, I played with a couple other people after college. I played with like my friend James Kelleher.
Yes.
James Kelleher of Stat Trackers. He was. I went down to the Complete Strategist, and I answered a little. There was a little sign on the billboard looking for experienced players, something like you know, must be forgot what it said, but it was like no goofballs or something. It was like, you know,
Well, why'd you?
it was a
Why'd you apply?
serious.
Yeah.
So of course the big goofball answered the ad.
Yeah.
It was like the serious players only. What was it, mature or whatever it was, you know, and come for a tryout or whatever, you know. So I gathered up my maps and all that stuff, and I went down there. And I met this total stranger in their house. At that point, he was living in New York City with his wife, and I went there and to play a game. I brought all my materials with me, and I guess he liked it because he's like, okay, he's a bit of a weirdo, but look, he's got all this artistic abilities. I guess we can have him in our campaign, you know.
Goofball's okay if they bring a lot of maps. This is the...
Yes, miniatures, maps, all this kind of thing. And I hadn't been into really miniatures before that much, you know. Honestly, it was all theater of the mind. But Jim was painting. He liked to paint the miniatures, and I forget. I don't really know the chicken before the egg. I don't know, but at some point we all got into the miniatures, and I got back into it, and I started going down to strategists and buying miniatures, painting them up, and then at some point during our gaming, I guess we were using mats, you know, and I guess I was like, well, this is kind of not good enough, you know, like I should try something else. So I started making things out of cardboard, you know, and so we started with cardboard, but the cardboard is very flimsy, you know, And
you
then
had
around that's
you had that castle for a while in the office. Like, it was pretty elaborate. Like, these were not like, just like two walls. Like, this was like elaborate three-dimensional, multi-layer structures and like,
three-dimensional 4-level castle with.
yeah.
And in the level, every room I had various rooms, and they were hidden. You have to lift the top off to see inside each room. Sometime I'll break that out somewhere. It survived all these years. It's still around. So where was I? I was.
So you were playing. You started building stuff with cardboard, and
Yes, the cardboard wasn't enough, and at the same time, I needed a job, because I was just a painter. I was doing oil paintings, and I was selling some of them, most of them really, but I was very slow. I was very slow at it, and it's not enough to make a living. So I'm still staying at my parents' house, and I did all kinds of odd jobs, scooping ice cream, hanging coats in a synagogue, all kinds of things. And then I got a bus boy. I was a bus boy, dishwasher, and waiter, and I got this. Once again, I saw a note on a wall.
so I see there's a theme running through all of this.
There's a lot of messages on
Read the
walls
message
that I
board.
answered. Someone answers them, I do.
quest.
So you want to get my attention, stick a note on a billboard somewhere, All right, so I was still studying art because you're always studying. Even though I was doing it for decades, right? I'm going to New York Academy of Art and taking écorché classes. That's like anatomy, and you build a three-dimensional skeleton. Build a skeleton, and you add muscles to it, and you build like from the bones outward. You make a figure, and that écorché, you learn anatomy. So I'm taking these classes, and then I come across the billboard. It says, "Hey, painters, miniature painters wanted, freelance job, whatever, And I was like, wait a minute, I am a miniature painter, So
I can get paid to paint these. This is great.
You're regular sized.
Yeah. So I answer the ad, and I go, and lo and behold, I bring my set of orcs and lizard men and miniatures to this interview, and they were blown away, and guess who was interviewing me?
Could it rhyme with Ray?
Could it rhyme with Ray or Bay or Nay or So they were blown away, and the guy's like, okay, well, wow, no one has ever brought actual three-dimensional miniatures to one of these interviews. So yes, I guess we'll give you a shot, And I did terrible. Oh my God!
Did you have a resume? Did you just show up with a bunch of miniatures and like?
I didn't have a resume. Look,
Yeah.
that was my resume.
Right, you brought a bunch of lizard men and like called it a day.
You show up to the interview and ask them to play.
I brought my portfolio.
Yeah.
It's like how I got my job as a waiter. And they said, do you know have you been a waiter before? I said, no. Have you ever eaten Japanese food before? No. Okay, come back tomorrow, 5:00.
So you meet Jay, have all these painted lizard folk and whatever, but you can't. You bomb the paint test, right?
I did terrible. He put me in a room and set up. They gave me these paints to use that I wasn't used to using, and so it was a new method. And then he gave me a piece that somebody else had painted on, so I didn't have a blank piece. I had someone's paint job that I then had to. He said, "Can you improve this?" And I took this thing and I had to improve it, but I wasn't used to painting on someone else's thing, and I wasn't used to the materials, and I was out of my environment, and I fudged the whole thing. I was like, oh God, this is a disaster. And so I took the piece. I after half hours, listen, guys, I'm sorry. Obviously, I suck at this. I'm sorry I wasted your time. Not to mention the fact that I didn't even get off of Amtrak at the right stop. Like I was lost, so they had to send a car to find me. But that's so. The whole thing was just
So
like
you were late, you were lost,
I
you
was like,
couldn't do it.
lost, late, couldn't do anything, didn't have a resume, nothing. But for some reason, this man saw something in me and said, "No, I don't believe I've seen the miniatures you brought." I said, "You're really good at. Why don't you take this other blank piece home? It was like a little English house, and paint it. See how you can do in your environment, and come back. I'm not willing to give up on you." And I was like, "Oh, okay, if you insist, you know." So I went home and I used my paints and I painted up a little wonderful, beautiful little English house. I've been to England, so I know how those houses look. And I brought it back and they were like, "Oh my God, this is amazing. No one's ever painted a house. This is great, and boom, I was hired. So, and then so I was making money getting things like, a lighthouse or baseball stadium, and I would get these things and I would paint them up. And I became their go-to guy. I got all the best projects. They were like, "Here, take this, New York City block and paint it up." And, obviously I live in New York. So I aced it, So that's how I started. And then eventually I went to my boss and I'm like, "Listen, this is great, but I have this game I play, D&D, and I said, you got all these, you know how to do the business side of everything, and but I know the D&D side, and you like my work, right? Let's team up. Let's form a partnership." I heard of this place called Gen Con. Some of my friends go there. My friend Richard Radney was going. I was also playing in Richard Radney's campaign games sometimes. At the same time as I was doing gyms, I was in a couple campaigns. And these guys, Richard, he used to go to Gen Con. I'd never been. And I was intrigued. And not only that, they used to go and they used to play in the competition. They had the RPGA, I think, had a competition every year. And him and his buddies were winning year after year. They were bringing home the trophy from Gen Con. These guys were the A team of the RVGA tournament. And they're like, "Yeah, I don't know if you're good enough to come play with us, But we used to play, but we played D&D. And then we just started hanging out a lot too. There was a lot of extracurricular activity during those years. And actually my girlfriend at the time, Jane Sanders, my girlfriend, who was there at the beginning when I started this whole endeavor, she ended up marrying him.
Really?
She ended up marrying Richard. Yeah, we kind of broke up, and she ended up marrying Richard. So
So you made some dungeons and brought them to Gen Con, right? This is the first batch.
I made some dungeons. I decided first time to go to 1996. We made like, I don't know, 100 or 300 boxes of the first room and passage set or room set. And then I went down to, we got a 10-foot by 10-foot booth. We were scared to death. I'm like, "Okay, well, here you go. We've got these prototypes. We had produced them. I put in $10,000. My partner put in $10,000. I sold a painting for $10,000. And so that
just
money,
melted it down, turned it into dungeons, and off you went.
turned it into dungeons. I took that money, the most I'd ever made in painting, and went all in, put all that money into our first shipment of Dwarven Forge, which when it arrived was also not in perfect shape either. And it turned out, and I had to fix some of the pieces. Some of the pieces were not right.
So the night before Gen Con, you were like crazy gluing these pieces together.
I don't know. Maybe it was the second batch. It was either the first batch or second batch of the container, a 20-foot container, not a 40-foot, a 20-foot. And I had to fix them. I actually, literally, these are the days when we used to cast them in white. They weren't even gray. They were white. And they get chipped.
Yeah.
After a while, you would see little white chips. Yeah, there's some of the resin there. There's some of the,
So basically, you rolled in with a whole bunch of these room and passage sets, and
I went down there.
How quickly did
What
those
I wanted to
sell?
express, I actually, in the early years, I had to open up every one of these boxes that I got because they had flubbed it up. So they were shaving down on the sides, you know. So I
Yeah.
would take out, because warps, resin warps, you know. Sometimes it warps, and if the piece is not perfect, you know, what they did was they shaved it down and then they put little holes in it. And I was like, what is this? My sculpture has been ruined. So
So the
I
ice pick
literally,
guy came and did the little.
I had the ice pick. No, I took my own pick. They ice picked it, then I came with my chisel, and I literally resculpted the edges of the pieces that they had done that to. I checked all the boxes. And the ones that were bad, I chiseled them away. It's hard to chisel at resin, you know. Chiseled them away, resculpted them, repainted the edges, and put them back in the boxes and shipped them out. And so those first people that bought some of those sets probably don't realize that those early sets, a lot of them, I had hand sculpted them after the castings, hand sculpted and painted them, and shipped them out.
So
obviously,
basically, you guys sold like Friday Gen Con open, where it was a Thursday.
these
and
are the
you were-
early days, man. When you start a company and you got to do anything you can to keep afloat and figure
But
it
you were
out.
sold
And I was
out.
spray painting the stickers on the side of the boxes, and the fumes were killing me, you know. And then every day UPS would come by, and I was packing up boxes every day, 5 o'clock. He would complain I'm taking too long, and I'm shoving boxes into the elevator. The early days, you know.
Well, it was mail order, right? Well, but so basically,
Yeah,
you
we
went to Gen
get
Con,
a
sold everything
fax.
out, and you're like, wow, this is gonna work. And then started
Yeah.
getting addresses so you could mail order people stuff, right? And then went
Yeah.
mail order from there.
There was a new thing, believe it or not. Back in '96, taking people's emails was a new concept. You know, I didn't have an email at that time, probably. You know, like I don't know, we were getting emails, and we had a long line of people at the booth because they were filling out the form and putting their emails, and we collected them, and then we would send out mailings, and even postcards and stuff, and then people would. And the fax number I would give them was the fax number of my father's office. My father had an architecture firm in our house on the first floor and on the fourth
So
floor.
they
And we
fax
lived
an
in the middle.
order into.
And so while they're getting their faxes from their companies, then a fax would come in saying they want dungeons, you know. So the architects, you know, I was young. They all thought it was funny, you know. I would get all these and then they said, wow, I was actually starting to make some money here, you know. And they were a kid that they were going to charge me per fax, you know. So anyway,
Dollar a fax.
all the
So that's
so we had the 10-foot booth, and we sold out in like 4 hours, I believe. We sold all the boxes. Everyone had swarmed the booth.
and that was
we had
Thursday, right? You still had the rest of the convention. And
Yeah, we had like the
and
rest of the
MTV.
time we didn't know what to do. So they even bought everything to display off the table. We're like, okay, look, you can reserve this, but we really want to keep it here for people to see for the rest of the show. Pick it up on Sunday. And so we sold every last thing we sold, and we're in business.
Woo!
I just still remember me and Jay at the there's an incredible in Milwaukee. There's an incredible bar there that I think it was what is it, Mater's? I don't know. There's some kind of incredible bar with nights and the most incredible Germanic bar. Maybe some of the listeners here know. And a real staple in Milwaukee. And we were there having a Duvel,
Counting
trying to come up the name. What name could we put? And I was like, well, I don't know why Dwarven Forge just popped into my head. And he's like, all right, sounds pretty good, but let's keep trying, you know? And so we spent the next couple
trying.
hours trying every goddamn name we could think of. And none of them sounded as good as Dwarven Forge, you know? But we were happy because the food was good, the drink was good, you know. In any case, Dwarven Forge it was.
Wow. Well, that was the 1 minute origin story. Oof. All right. So we've set the stage.
The 20-minute, 1 minute
Yeah.
origin story.
So,
Yeah.
so question for you is,
That's how it started.
so that you're sitting in the bar. You've sold a couple hundred sets. You've got a name. Did you ever think it'd be 25 years later? Did you think the company would still be around in 25 years? Did you think it would grow? Did you have any vision of what it would be?
No, there was no thinking at all. I don't think. We just do. If I had thought about all the work that was going to go into it, I probably would have said, no, this is too hard. This I can't. It would be too thwarting to me. There's
Yeah.
no way I can do any of that. Forget it. But instead, I was just like, oh, look, we sold 400 boxes. Let's go make something else, and next year we'll sell another 400 boxes. You know,
Well,
and
oh,
that's
so
kind of what we
speaking-
did. The next year, we came out with what the next year was like, maybe like we had the octagonal room set.
Blowing people's minds, diagonal
It
walls.
was just a room set with diagonal walls. And I keep in mind, this wasn't a full-time job for me. It was like
You're still painting
a hobby.
lighthouses.
It was like it was a way to supplement my income as a painter. I was still considering myself an artist, a painter first, and sell some of these things at Gen Con, as a hobby, you know?
Yeah.
And Jay had a job, but he also was not. This was on his peripheral.
This is a side
he would-
quest. It's silly, yeah.
Yeah, he was this crazy thing. Maybe something will come out of it. He didn't know he'd have to wait 25 years, but I so I do it for fun and not at the breakneck speed that Dwarven Forge goes at now.
Yeah,
It's
now
mind-boggling. All the people that work in the office. Before it was just me, alone doing a couple sculptures here and there, and slowly developing a reputation over time. We developed a big reputation up until because we would go to a convention. I would go every year. We would talk to the customers. Every year they wanted to know what was next, and every year they bought what was next. And those are some of the river sets.
Yeah, I got the
spoke.
resin.
That's my
fish.
favorite set. That's one of the fan favorites, I think.
So-
And,
So
very
here's a
hard to-
question for you about not thinking. You said sort of plunging ahead, not thinking.
Yeah.
What's one of the biggest disasters that happened to Dwarven Forge? I know there were a couple of times where the company came close to the brink. Like what was
There
one of
was
the
a big
blunders that you
disaster.
stumbled into?
Yes, there was. We were at Gen Con once. We came out with the miniatures.
Oh.
The miniatures in resin. For some reason, we thought this would work, and the reason is because I had, they cast these miniatures in resin, and they put little wires inside
It's like an
the
armature.
casting. They're like a little wire armature, and they pour in the resin, but I don't think they used the proper resin. I don't know what happened, but what happened was the heads on the skeleton and stuff started popping off right at the convention as people were buying them, and people were coming back to the booth and saying, my miniature broke. And it was like, oh, it was such a disaster.
It's a
Didn't
feature.
you sell? I thought you'd sold like 10,000 of them to the Dragon's Horde or something, right? You had there was distribution.
Whoa! And then
in
we got
place.
we got orders from like Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah,
to
like
their
they had a
game
brick and
stores.
mortar.
When they had game stores, and we sold them to all these game stores, and I can't imagine what was happening there.
Well, then they returned all.
I
of
never
them,
heard
right?
anything about it, but
Yeah.
So they're much better in Dwarvenite. Trust me.
Turns out resin was not the right. It was like
Dwarvenite,
brittle plaster. Oh.
yeah. Also, the brick and mortar. I loved selling the stores, but then at some point, we had to stop because we weren't making money. And what happened is the distributors. Okay, I got to throw them under the bus a little.
Yeah.
The distributors started selling to nefarious sources. Some people would have like a warehouse in a swamp, or someplace really cheap, and then they would buy it from the distributor, and then they would sell it online on the internet for like 40% discount.
What?
And that would undercut all the other stores. It undercut us. It undercut everybody. But the distributors that were doing this, they didn't care because they were getting the same amount of money. It was like what happened with the bank collapse. They're getting their derivative, and they don't give a shit if it's destroying everything. Like that's what happened. And so when this started happening, I'm like, oh man, there's only one way to fix this. We have to stop giving them, because you would give the distributor 50% or more, 60% discount. The distributor gets 60% discount, and then the store would buy it for 50%. So the distributor get 10%, and
Yeah.
we would get, because we had to manufacture all that. Out of $100, we'd make maybe $10.
Yeah, not
You
worth
know,
it. Not enough volume
or
to.
even less, even, and so not worth it unless you're selling millions and millions of volume. But anyway,
So, Stefan, in 25 years of DF, what are you most proud of?
well, I would say this moment in time, I'm proud of the fact that I have this big office with all these artists who are doing this creative work, and I'm paying them, and they make a very good salary, and I'm glad to keep them, to be able to have them eat their bread,
Eat the bread.
and during hard times, pandemic and all that, we still employ a bunch of people. Like my father used to be happy. He was proud that he was always paying everyone at his office, architectural firm, in time. He was very proud of this. I remember him, and we were like a family. The office was in the house, and I remember that he went through some lean years, and I'm happy that this is happening. Um,
But the fact that we didn't have to lay anybody off through this pandemic, like the fact that
Yeah.
we've kept a bunch of artists employed through a pandemic is pretty.
it's
pretty
a
awesome.
miracle. It's a miracle, and knock on wood. Okay, we didn't. we're struggling through this reliquary thing a little bit, but I love what the team is doing, and you know, we didn't get to $3 or $4 million like I hoped, but we're we not sure we're gonna make our money back, but it's okay. I'm very happy with what we did, and I know that the next Kickstarter, when we go back to cities, we're gonna knock it out of the park. And
Cities is gonna be wild. Yeah.
and I love all the videos that have been done. I think people enjoy seeing all the stuff behind the scenes, and who's making this stuff, and they learn about us and who we are. We're not some kind of bunch of drones or robots. We're human beings. We're artists that work very hard and love what we do. And when you buy our products, it's you're contributing to the right cause. You're contributing to humanity. You're keeping businesses like us going in a world that's becoming less and less human, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud of the fact that we have a company that is run the right way, and and that we don't listen to crazy boards.
Just our
like
crazy selves.
we listen to ourselves and do what our heart tells us to, and our fans, our customers, our collectors, they play a huge part. They
Yeah.
contribute, they say all kinds of stuff, and we get ideas from them. We have back and forth with them. We're very hands-on. Dude, an update every single day is madness. What
It's
other
more
company
work.
does that? No one does that. It's madness. All the Discord, the Twitch, the live streams, all this stuff. We are sort of a creation of the gaming industry, the enthusiasts that love miniatures. We are there for them, and we are part of them. It would be a shame if we were to go out of business. I think that would be a big shame to the hobby industry. But I don't think we will. I think we're just gonna keep getting better. And this next Kickstarter is going to be awesome. This reliquary, I think people are starting to understand now that it's not just the dice holder, as cool as that is, but they also make great terrain pieces. And these discussions I watched the other day, how everybody's talking about, all these ideas, like the dwarven guy, you could make that a destination piece and have him smith a magic weapon for you if the adventurers find it. I thought that was great. Or you could, maybe he's the only way you can destroy something. You bring the evil piece to to the smith, the dwarven smith, and he destroys it. Is the only thing that can destroy it.
He's like
I mean,
Mount
these
Doom.
great
He's-
ideas. There's so many great ideas with all these different pieces that you guys have so thoughtfully and creatively created, and so I'm proud of that, having this kind of company.
Oh yeah. What Stefan, what do you think is the coolest thing that Dwarven Forge has done in this 25 years?
The coolest thing. Well, I mean, obviously, I'm going to say reliquaries because that's the newest, right? That's the
No,
coolest.
pre reliquaries.
I mean, we all have our personal tastes, right?
Yeah, well, it's just
And
for you.
I can't say there's one thing. I can't say it. I can't say there's one thing. I like every offering we did for different reasons.
Fair.
The Wildlands, I love the Wildlands. I could always wanted to do Wilderness. Finally was able to do it. No, everyone said it's going to fail. It's going to do terribly. Don't do it. You make dungeons. Stick to dungeons, you rascal. What do you think you're trying to do? They said the same thing when we came out with cities. Stick to dungeons. Why are you going to do cities? You're crazy. Castles. No, someone else is doing castles. You're crazy. No one's going to want castles. Every time we try to do something, everyone says, no, this is bad. You should stick to dungeons.
Oh,
And
North.
oh,
we did dungeons, and that did great too.
what is that?
Dungeons of Doom. And,
Is that Luke Gygax's music?
Oh, who's coming? We had a guest
Entry
coming on, Luke.
I don't know what his
My
music
good
is.
Clearly
friend.
bad to the bone, apparently.
Luke Gygax is making an appearance. And
Might I
maybe
say
he'll-
you're looking great today, Luke.
Floating text of doom.
Can we hear him? Is he here?
Well,
I like the idea of I just put text in the window.
he
and just like,
texts
oh
There
and
he
look,
is.
shows up.
There he
oh
is.
we got
Yeah.
we
Luke
got Axl
Gygax,
Rose himself.
everyone.
Hey, how's
Hello,
it going, man?
Luke.
Yeah, I didn't realize I was dialing straight in, man. I figured I'd go into
We're
green room
just,
or
yeah,
something.
it's
So I just
hot set,
we're just
hot
going
mic.
for
We're
it.
just dropping you in.
all right, yeah.
Hello,
No,
sir.
congratulations on 25 years. That's amazing.
Woo! I mean, you know, Stefan. Can you believe 25 years? The company
can't.
hasn't gone up in flames. Like,
I've been alive for almost 30. I'm not impressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just amazing. I mean, I met. When did we meet, Stefan? I think it was at a Gen Con, like 2000
With
and
Gen Con, and I think it was we had a meeting with your mother,
yeah,
one of
yeah,
your mothers.
yeah, stepmom, stepmother. Yeah.
Gail Gygax.
Yeah,
And he wanted me to sculpt the Gygax, Gary Gygax monument.
that's right. That's right. Yeah, and so we
Yeah.
met. We had some dinner, and then we kind of hit it off. and
Yes, we immediately hit it off, and we're kind of in the same age group, and then we like to hang out, and we like to game, and all
what
that
more
kind
is
of-
there? Yeah.
You know what is best in life?
Cheers.
cheers indeed.
And I love
Yeah.
what's going on there with your, Gary Con.
Yeah.
I've got, what do I have here? I got this is my
All right, you got Gary Con coin right there. Yeah.
Gary
Con.
Con coins.
Yeah, I
I
think
got
I've got-
a Gary Con
I think I got one of those back here somewhere. but yeah.
celebrating a life well played.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
My favorite dice bag here, my Gary Con
Yeah.
10 dice bag. That was cool. But yeah,
Awesomeness.
we're going to be doing a stream on Gary Con Live next weekend on Saturday. We're going to be playing, you're going to be DMing another bingo short adventure.
Yes, I will be massacring, running you
Oh, no.
through a game again.
How
The
many
Yeah.
times,
Adventures of Bingo.
Luke? How many times has Stefan killed you in a session?
He has killed me, I think, just one time. I think he killed me one time that I remember. It's
The very
when
first
Yeah.
session, the very first game.
it was the second game. First game I lived. That was
Oh,
Bingo's
that was the
birthday.
second-
It was a
First
Cloud
game.
Giant game. It was a Cloud Giant game, and that's the first time I gamed with Zodkra, I think, as the half orc, right? Zodkra, who's a great
David
great character,
Baxter.
played by David
R.I.P.
Baxter. Yeah, and so there was a giant, and it was, we'd flown up or we'd gotten up on this cloud castle, and we're trying to chase a stone giant. Maybe he'd been wounded, he was running away, he was pretty bad, and I was like, Zotka's like, he's running down the staircase, and he's like, I could throw you, and I was like, all right, let's do it. I'll see if you can throw me and see if I can get a backstab. So I'll go flying through there and try and get a backstab. I missed
What could go
terribly. I splattered on the ground and it was like pancake. But luckily we had Jeremy from HawaiiCon was playing a cleric, and he raced down there and raised dead on me. So before I
did a raise dead, and
Yep.
I bend the rules a little bit. Like usually you're supposed to need to rest and all this stuff, but that's no fun. You know what I mean?
Well, you should
You do
chase
the
the
raise
fun.
dead, and you can pop back to life. You know?
I was only mostly dead.
Yeah. It's all in good fun.
It was. So then
But,
we chased him down, and I think we got that giant.
Yeah,
So-
and I had with the Dwarven Forge, I built a big cloud giant castle in the clouds. And there was we took all this poof and we laid it all over the table, so it really looked like
What was on the
the
table?
castle was floating in the clouds. And
Like
A little less glare.
that's
like
way
cotton?
better than just graph paper.
So, Luke, what's your favorite? Of the years you've known Stefan, what's your favorite Dwarven Forge memory in honor of these 25 years?
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well,
Just, or one of the. You don't have to be. It doesn't have to be the ultimate, but
I tell you, I had a lot of fun when I don't remember the name of this particular adventure, but we were going through the mountain pass, and it wasn't that long ago. We were going through the mountain pass, and there was this cool like secret door where the trolls or whatever were jumping out of, and we kept bypassing them, and that made you mad because you didn't get to get us with the trolls jumping out. But I just was like, wow, this is
there
really
was a
cool.
magic carpet too. There was
There was a
flying.
Yeah, we would fly over it, and the whole Magic Carpet series was a lot of fun because once you allow people to get their hands on some magic items, like
Bad
know what I mean?
idea.
it was a DM. Sometimes it's all over, but I remember there was it was the enemy had this flying carpet. It's so they could fly up on the tower and get us because we were using like sling stones and stuff on them. But we managed to kill them off and get the flying carpet before they could get away
That
with
was right when you guys were when they were attacking Fort Porcupine.
it. That's right. Yeah.
In
Yeah, it was-
Mithras, Fort Porcupine, they attacked, and you had to protect the fort. And they were coming down with the magic carpet, and you killed the bugbears and took the magic carpet. And then
Yep.
you were employing it, much to my chagrin. And eventually, I told Peter Atkinson, I said, the carpet, the maggots ate it. You guys didn't put the mothballs in. When he
maggots
tried
ate
to
your
use it
carpet.
the last time, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, it got eaten.
Magic maggots. So,
Yep.
Luke, can you give us a secret word? Well, not make it secret because you have to say it out loud. But we need to do a giveaway. We need a word for people to pipe. They're gonna pipe into the chat. Type it into the chat.
Okay.
What should
Well,
people say to get to try and win?
Well, I mean, I would say Bingo because I love Bingo, and he's a character in Valoria, which is built with lots and lots of Dwarven Forge. So,
All right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you
Bingo
want
to
to be able
winnow.
if you want a chance to win, what we're giving away today is this is international. Doesn't matter where you live, you are eligible for this. We're giving away $50 of Pledge Manager credit to get some reliquaries, like you can see right here. This lovely dwarf right here is part of our reliquaries Kickstarter. We've got like a full set. We've got basically
Yeah.
3 sculpts in 5 different families, so 15 sculpts plus the ability tracker, which is a 16th sculpt that's outside.
That is-
It's a whole thing. But this is the full dwarven set you can see right here. This Kickstarter is running through Friday, and that right there is the Eldritch hero.
Look at that thing.
There's 3
Oh,
Eldritch sculpts
beautiful.
as well.
This is
It's
going to
the
be.
Elemental hero.
Look at that thing. Look
oh,
at
it's
that
crazy.
thing.
Yeah, they're made to be nice, like a nice display piece you can have on your shelf to hold your
Whoa,
favorite
look at
dice.
that
That's the
thing.
artificer right there.
Imagine if you throw that at your players, like some crazy gnome invention that does who knows what.
Yeah. Exactly. It's up to your
So
imagination.
And
So
they
they're made to
light
be
up.
beautiful-
These are LEDs.
Yeah.
They're made to be beautiful hand-painted display pieces, as well as our sculptors are
Hey.
gamers first and foremost, so they've also thought about if these would function as terrain or monsters
Look
or
at that
traps
thing.
and stuff like that. So they've all got
Magical
a lot of stuff you can do with them on the
device.
game table as well.
Listen, miss this
Pretty fun.
Kickstarter at your own peril. These are going to become huge collector's items. I guarantee
Stefan
it.
will kill
Trust-
you in a game if you don't.
These-
join the
I will
Kickstarter.
kill you if you shove at my table without your reliquary to hold your dice.
So,
You know,
so
the,
while
no,
people are
seriously.
typing bingo into chat,
these are going to be rare. I swear these are probably going to be big, hot on the second market. If you pick up
the
a couple
second
of
market,
these,
the
probably
dark
sell
web.
these.
There could be a
5 years from now, on the dark web, these are going to be like 10 times what you paid for them. I swear to God.
They'd be like, this is classic Dwarvenite right here.
Yeah,
You can't
where
even
did
get
you
this
get
anymore.
that? I missed
Classic
that
Dwarvenite.
Kickstarter.
That's it.
I missed it. It was
Classic
only 2
code.
weeks long. What happened? They will be wishing they had pledged for this. Trust me.
They'll be ruining the day.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
You will
oh,
rue
they'll
it indeed.
moan and groan. And why didn't I pledge for that gnome invention or that griffin throne? And I can't believe I didn't get that piece.
So, Stefan, I have a
I might
list
buy a
here.
bunch of them myself.
I have a list of, I came up with 7 things I learned about life from Dwarven Forge.
Oh no.
And maybe Luke can add a couple after we get through this. You might have a couple. But I thought they're good lessons for life. They apply to making DF stuff, but also good lessons to life. So, first one, hey, Ann. Hello,
Ann is here.
Hi.
Hey, Ann.
My partner in crime over here.
Woo!
She's
Absolutely.
helping me all the time with my live streams, and she's incredible. And us down in Chaldea too, doing the Chaldea.
Oh yeah, the Actoroki. It's a ton of
Yeah.
fun. I just wanted to say that after watching the video for the reliquaries, I was kind of like, "What are these reliquaries?" And they're so cool. So I kind of, can I get one for
So
Christmas?
you became a believer.
You can, you too can go to Kickstarter right now, Ann, and you can pledge for. Let me interest you in the All the Sculpts pledge. It's one of everything. I think you can jump in right now. You've got 5 days left.
Yeah,
I have an idea actually because I really love the fact that they fit into the terrain scale. So I kind of really want to stock up on some of those pillars and
Yes. Well, maybe the terrain
I've got an
builders
idea
pledge
for a
is for
build.
you.
So there's the terrain. What is it? The terrain pledge. Terrain builder pledge.
Oh yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
should do then.
All right, but we're starting to
All right.
sound like a commercial now.
Can I
So
borrow your
here's-
credit card,
here's-
honey? I gotta go to my
We
here's
computer.
didn't want to
seven,
sound like a commercial.
7
Enough of
things
this
I learned.
commercialism.
7
wait,
things
if
I
you
learned
act
from Dwarven
right now.
Forge. And then
Only if
Luke,
you
you see if you got
act
anything to
now.
add, and then Stefan, you can maybe throw something in, and then we'll take some questions from the audience. So, number 1 is not everything can do everything, right? So sometimes I would try and design this piece that would be like a reverse spingle, and you put it on its head, and it's upside down spangle, and it was like this crazy thing. And Stefan, you'd be like, you say, listen, sometimes something just needs to do one thing and be cool, and that's okay. And that was the bigger picture of life is not everything can do everything. You have to say no to some things. You can't do it all. Like, choose the thing and do it well. Don't try and have every piece be this ultra modular reversible thing that doesn't actually make any sense by itself. Number 2, this is a good Stefan one, is strive for beauty, right? You do a thing, whatever, and you're like, but it's ugly. Like, it's got to inspire. It has to be beauty. Like, look for the beauty in life. And you would find it in things, even things that are quote unquote ugly, you'd find like the beautiful take on it, whatever, looking for the beauty. Number 3 is listen to your backers, right? You'd be like, no, people are asking for this. We got to like do whatever. It's the same thing, be it fans, be it friends, be it whatever. Listen to that bubble of people around you. Because if you surround yourself with good people, there'll be good info flowing around. So listen to them. Number 4 was make bold choices. You have never been afraid to make bold choices. I mean, starting this company was number 1, and there's been thousands, if not a million, bold choices that have been made in the last 25 years. Chasing crazy dreams, crazy visions. Just go for the big thing. You're like, you know what? I'm gonna die at some point. I want to go big, or go swing for the fences every time you're going for bold
Swing for
choices.
the fence. That's
Don't be
right.
timid. Make some bold choices. Pick smart partners, right? The only reason this company's still alive is because Jay, right? You were going to you would spend all the money on a pirate ship if you had your druthers, but you picked a very, very smart partner, right? You had somebody that it was grounded and smart and logical, and the same as in life, right?
There's
Surround
been a
yourself
lot
with
of
smart
really,
people.
a lot of really great hires over the years. You
Yes.
know,
And
I don't know
listen to
about
them.
you, Nate, but nah,
Yeah.
you are one of the best ones. You are the best. You are an unstoppable force of energy and creativity,
Trying.
and a lot of
Learning-
great people on the team.
I learned
you
a
know.
lot from watching you, Stefan.
You know, Nina,
Remember,
Eli, all these
Everybody.
people.
We have a team of unstoppable,
you know,
like the greatest people in the world. It's unbelievable. Like we're
Everybody. All the, I'm so bad with the names, but people, they're all of them are great and doing great things together. And I think they all like working with each other.
well, and life's too
And,
short to surround yourself with jerks. Like just have good people around you.
No jerks. We don't
No.
have any jerks at Dwarven Forge.
Number 6
Do
out of
we?
7. Love what you love. You were not ashamed of. You're like, you know what? I love Blue Oyster Cult, and I'm gonna crank it. I mean, usually it was Black
Yeah.
Sabbath or whatever, but like, you love what
Yes.
you love, and you're not. You're like, wear it out loud. You say, I love D&D. I love Black
Love it.
Sabbath. I love. You just like proclaim it, be it, love it, and love
The
the
early
things that
years
you love.
were definitely really wild.
Yes.
You know, now it's a little more buttoned up and, the ship is working more like a fine oiled machine. The early days were a little mad and crazy,
So,
but we survived.
And last one, number 7, was make it fun, right? You would like, anytime we're looking at a piece, you'd be like, it's not fun. Like, how do you, like, where's the whimsy? Where's the excitement? Where's the joy? Like, make whatever you're working on, put some fun in there. And
Make
then
it
also in life,
fun.
you have not been afraid to have fun. I'll say you're cornering the market on,
Have
on
some fun.
So that was my 7 things I learned
Nice.
from Dwarven Forge that also apply to life. Do you want to
wanted
throw
to
anything in
say-
there, Luke? And then Stefan, you can throw in if anything you got.
Well, you know what? Those apply to planning a convention too, or really, like you said, almost anything in life. Because there's plenty of people when you start something. There's plenty of people who want to give you advice or say, well, you should do this or that. And I would say don't limit yourself, right? That's another one. Is like, many people when I was doing Gary Con, for instance, they said, hey, you should only do games that were prior. Well, when your dad was at TSR and earlier. That's it, or anything your dad wrote, but no other games. And I was like, well, no, that's not. It's about gaming. We play games, right? My dad played anything from cribbage to Railroad Baron, Rail Baron, or D&D or Memoir. So tons of stuff that he didn't do, and that's very limiting. So don't limit. And absolutely, you struck on one that's basically have fun, be proud of what you're doing, and surprise people. Keep it fresh. I think that's really important, especially when we're talking about your guys' job, especially, is to help people have fun and let loose. Kickstart that imagination. Give them something cool. Get those reliquaries are dope, right?
Woo!
I mean, your imagination just starts. You see that beautiful piece, and you're like, how does that fit in there? What's the story behind it? And you're really you're kickstarting. You're priming the pump of their imagination to do all this neat stuff. And so that's what Dwarven Forge helps us do. It helps us visualize our adventure and feel more immersed into it. And it's the top of the line product out there for terrain. There's no question about it. And Stefan, you kicked ass. Great job, and you built a wonderful team. Nate, I've met a few times, is outstanding as well, and a huge proponent. So, yeah, hats off. This is great stuff. I'm a believer in Dwarven Forge. Besides the people, it's a great product too.
Well, the people is what
Well,
makes the
thank you.
thing magic, right? You can't have something cool without the right people.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun, but we came a long way. There were lean years, and a lot of those years were helmed by a man called Jeff Martin.
Woo!
And he was my manager for a long time, and he kept the business running while I was running around making art. And and I don't know if Jeff Martin is here in the chatting. I'm having trouble. I can't see it on the computer what people are saying. But if he's here, holla to Jeff Martin, who was there. And what you probably don't realize, Jeff Martin, who was managing Dwarven Forge for a while, was the creator of True Dungeon,
Yes.
the #1 event at Gen Con. And I got to show you a picture here. check this photo out. There I am.
What's happening in
at
this
the
photo?
True Dungeon event, and next to me is Peter Atkinson. Peter Atkinson, we won first place at Carbondale, Illinois. We flew down there, and Jeff Martin was asking me right when he started working at my booth. He was a customer first, and then one day the booth was swamped, and him and his friend, they said, "Do you need help? We've worked before, we can jump behind the booth and help you sell your stuff." I said, "Yes, please help me." So he helped at the booth. After a few years of that, I said, "Listen, I need a manager now. It's too much for me." So he became manager for 10 years. And I said, I have this passion. I have this thing, this life-size dungeon I do in Carbondale. And I would like to, Peter. Peter's your friend. Can you ask Peter if we can do this at Gen Con? But here, we got to do it in a special way to impress him. So I have this exploding scroll. And I'm going to mail him this exploding scroll. And when he tries to open it, it's going to explode. And I think that will convince him. So I do believe he sent him the exploding scroll.
How'd that go?
And he was impressed enough that then he said, "Okay, I'm going to fly down to Carbondale with you, and let's check out what he's doing." And so we flew down there. We participated in the Carbondale True Dungeon. We took first place. And I don't know how many people. There were maybe 30 people, 40 people. I don't know. But we took first place, obviously. And then Peter's like, "Okay, let's run this at Gen Con." And now look at how it's grown into this huge thing.
Crushing
And
it.
so I wanted to thank Jeff Martin for his service. 10 wonderful years at Dwarven Forge.
Woo!
Then, after that, then I had Wandy. I had Wandy for a while. He was, I don't know if he's here. Wandy, are you on the chat? He's back in Ethiopia. He was deported by the ICE, by the Trump. The Trump people got Wandy. They deported him. But we don't got to talk about that. And then Nate, we straightened the ship out, and Nate came on, and it was a new age. And now we have the ship is sailing. It's going good. And who knows what the next 25 years will bring. Upward and onward.
Woo!
Upward and onward.
Well, speaking of onward, let's roll this giveaway. Last chance to type bingo in the
giveaway.
chat, and then let's take some questions from the chat. Let's get lively. Let's go with the unexpected. Oh, cool.
This was sent to me by Jeff Martin. And then what he said on the
Azarac.
back here. Stefan, thanks for
Wow.
getting True Dungeon started. Jeff Martin.
It's amazing.
That's awesome.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
And then I think we had the Australians, the Aussies. When I went to the Blaze. I went to the Blaze in Australia. And I ran a game, like an 8-hour game, in the Burning Man version, Australian version of Burning Man, in the Church of Belligerents. Belligerents, babies! So a couple of shout outs there to the folks down under. Great bunch of people, great gamers, wonderful
There's
people.
a hype train going.
Yeah.
Just ended.
Fired up. All right, so does anybody have any questions for Stefan Picorni or Luke Gygax?
As we roll the giveaway.
Or questions about life?
I'm gonna roll the giveaway real quick.
Hit it. Here we go. Big winner is
Glamour Moth.
Glamour Moth.
Glamour Moth has been watching for a bit. It's been fairly active.
Woo! Congrats.
Wait, I think
Glamour
you've
Moth.
already. I think Glamour Moth has already won.
Nice.
Ah.
Second time's the charm.
Yeah.
They say,
All right,
Glamour
right?
Moth.
They say that.
Doubling that. Let me just check real quick. Yep.
Yeah.
Woo! All right. Well, I'll just
Like
Glamour
recently.
Moth.
for reliquaries.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So,
There you go.
I'll just.
They're working their way.
I guess I
towards,
won't really-
they're working their way towards the completionist.
I guess I won't. I don't need your information. Then in that case, I'm just gonna make a note that I'm just gonna make a note that we're gonna double
Glamour
up
Moth.
on that one.
Better
I
to be
guess.
lucky than good. Woo!
It is better to be lucky than good.
So do we have any questions from our intrepid chatters?
Quirky Little Fox is wondering if there's a set that Stefan wishes they could redo now that they've got 25 years under their belt.
Like go back
Oh,
and
my goodness.
re-sculpt or
Oh, oh my goodness. Well, we already did that. The set that I wanted to redo was the medieval building set
something?
that
Yeah.
we did all those years back, and I was like, I know we can do this better, you know. And then we came out with the city builder set, and now we're going to improve upon that in the next Kickstarter, so it'll be 3 times better than its original version. City Builder 2 is coming out basically in the next Kickstarter, and yeah, save your coppers for that one. I
Maybe
mean,
your
don't save your
silvers.
coppers.
Your
Might
Buy
need-
the
might need
reliquaries
more than copper.
now, and then go out and make more money, so you can buy the City Builder 2.
What else we got?
I'm gonna get censored by my own company. All right.
Yeah, he really,
He's a terrible spokesman. Why do you put him on all the time?
he's excited.
You tell them to save their money. What the hell?
Why is he always yelling? I don't know. He's excited. He's like, it's more fun when you yell all the time.
Ah! So I don't know. What other question is there?
I think somebody asked.
having a big open office because it just gave you an excuse to yell across the room to everybody. You were like, you didn't want to be a small room. You wanted a big room because you could just be yelling.
It used
all
to be
the time.
just one big room, yes. And then I used to have I had a record player, and I would crank the Sabbath, and Nina would complain.
Yeah. Well, you would. It was either like Black Sabbath or Tony Robbins. You would.
I was trying to motivate everyone. I would put
Yeah.
the Tony Robbins tape on, and that probably did it. That was probably.
Undoubtedly.
One day I came in the office and the stereo was gone. The record player was gone. The speakers disappeared. I don't know what happened.
Must have been the
And
rats.
I started wearing headphones. Everyone wore headphones, and then I was like, okay, I can see that I'm now grognard, and I better escape to the West Coast because it's a new generation, and I'm very happy in my role now, which is really going to conventions, running the games,
It's your
meeting
natural habitat.
people, doing the live
It's a-
streams, doing all the fun stuff that I love to do. I've got a great team of artists and great creative people there. I got them started way back, and now they're like way ahead of me. They work like 10 times faster than I ever did, and gosh, I give my input, I give my ideas, I fly back to New York once in a while, but I'm in Seattle, and they're doing great work here, and
Hey, Lisa
we keep
Teague is
doing it.
here.
who?
Oh, Lisa's here, huh? Hey, Lisa.
Hello, Lisa.
Hey, there she is.
Woo! Oh, Geeky Pinoff.
Yep.
Hi, Lisa's here. Zai.
That's
What,
right.
What else? What other questions do we have? For
there-
Stefan or for Luke?
I think there's people asking about some of the terrain sets that look pretty cool. Deserts and beaches with the modular boats. I think somebody was asking about that.
That's somebody in our community who's memeing.
Memeing at you.
Yeah,
okay. That's pretty funny because I was like, you know what? I like desert settings. I was like, how the hell would you do that there? I
So
was
that's
afraid-
the meme is they're trying to.
Dragos, Mondragos. I'm still the majority owner. Dora Forge. But
But
someone
somebody asked
I was
also-
asking about
I don't
sci-fi.
play a lot. I don't play a big part, and I
He asks us
It's
to talk
really-
about everything.
Jay and Nate and the people are guiding the ship. I add some. I give my input, but I
Sage advice.
try not to step on the toes.
I was gonna say somebody asked you what recharges your artistic battery, but I think we've already answered that. It's Black Sabbath and beer, and that recharges.
Sabbath, good ale. I like to run games. I like to. So I do a lot of live streams. We do a lot of them with Luke and with the Baxter, Legion M, and I'm still working on the trying to get the Destination Fantastic show now with Legion M.
Woo!
So we could reach a wider audience and bring gaming to the masses. That is still something that is in play that we're pushing, and we have representative now, Legion M, and I still have hope that this show is going to happen. And then I've seen Daniel was here in the chat. There he's doing the Griffin and Gargoyle.
Cool.
Do we know
Oh
about
yeah.
Griffin and Gargoyle? This
Jeff's
game
here.
store that's gonna kind of in Lake Geneva, and so he gave me this whole thing, and he wants me to do sculpting. He wants me to do sculpture for the Griffin and
Cool.
Gargoyle. He wants me to sculpt the Griffin and Gargoyle. So
You must.
that's a project that could be a seriously big project that I would probably have to spend a half a year or more on. I might even have to go to Colorado, to Loveland, Colorado, and sculpt there. Hopefully this comes through. We're trying to get the funding. It's a huge project. It's going to be like a kind of, I mean, we're talking a serious project here, you know? I mean, have you seen some of these plans? Like, wow, this is a
Wow.
amazing. There's even newer plans than this, and Daniel Caldwell, and it's the birthplace of D&D, and it's going to be an incredible place, like like a similar to a Renaissance fair, like every day, that kind of thing. And it's a project that I'm hoping to be involved in.
Well, you've dreamed about something like this forever. I mean, you've been talking about something like this
The
for
gaming store.
Yeah.
It's a bar,
an immersive place you go in.
and immersive. You role play in the bar. There are places to DM. It's an experience. It could be like an amusement park for gamers in the birthplace of D&D, and I am hopefully involved in making these sculptures, and that's when my artistic life blends with my gaming life, and that's the dream. That's a dream come true.
Yeah, I
So
would-
look for this, support it. It's coming in the future. And so Destination Fantastic, Griffin Gargoyle, all these things is great for gamers, and I hope brings more people into the hobby, which benefits everyone. It benefits everyone in the hobby, benefits all the artists, and it helps the world. It helps
think
us all stay more human and less robotic.
I think you could do some really amazing stuff with augmented reality if that's the way they're going, Griffin and Gargoyle. And having like
Yeah.
a gaming lane that could be
We
pretty
saw a lot
cool.
of great stuff in some of the live streams you're talking about with augmented reality and stuff like that.
Yeah,
And
I think
me-
that's
me and you, Luke. We plan on doing some events together.
me too. Yeah, I'd love to do some
We're going to
D&D
do some stuff.
at
you
a
know?
destination with you for sure.
Yes.
It'd be good times.
We will announce these things in the future as well. And it's a great time. It's a renaissance of gaming happening right now. Wonderful
Yep.
stuff.
And you got lots
Yep.
of schemes. You have no shortage of schemes, Stefan.
No shortage of schemes.
A lot of irons
we live
in the
on
freezer.
schemes. We live on dreams here.
Yeah.
We had a dream maker. What is it? The Willy Wonka.
So do we have any more questions that we should hit in chat? What's that highlighted one?
The highlighted one is
Oh, is the Gary Gygax Museum going to be open by the time GaryCon runs?
Yeah, it's the Lake Geneva Museum is working on that. And I saw, I think my stepmom, Gail, had donated a Dungeon Hobby Shop sign to them. And Mike Carr is working closely with them, as well as Paul Stormberg. So I think it's going to, I'm pretty sure they're targeting to have it open by March because the influx of people who come for GaryCon. So that'd be a smart move for them to have it open at that time because
It'd be fortuitous.
we get a couple thousand people coming to Lake Geneva to, specifically for gaming. Some of them are going to go check out the museum.
And we've been in talks with them the whole time. I was going to be there for the opening. Then the pandemic hit. I was going to be running games there. And
Right.
For the opening.
Yep.
I got put on hold. And maybe it'll happen at GaryCon. Maybe there'll be
All right.
a grand opening or something. Who knows? We're going to donate some Dwarven Forge to them, and they should have that at the museum. 'Cause it's durable. It can I think someone's donating a game table, and there maybe be a special area where people can play. That was the idea, at least at one point in time. I don't know if it's evolved, but great bunch of people. Stormberg, great guy. Yolandas, he's great. Lots of great stuff happening there.
Yep. And I think Jeff Leeson might be, AKA the Duck, might be going over and working for them. So that'd be great.
Yeah.
I think that's what Daniel was saying in the
Yeah.
chat. So
Good things are happening there.
Yeah, it's about time. Lake Geneva's got this amazing, event that happened there, and they're just now kind of warming up to recognizing,
They're starting to come around.
this D&D thing is kind of it's kind of a thing. Yeah,
It's catching on, I hear. It's
yeah. It's been around for a couple of years. I think it's this newfangled D&D thing's really taken off.
That's it.
Any other questions, Evan?
Are you going to be at PAX, Stefan?
I don't know. Are we? Are we going to be at PAX? Which one? There's so many of them.
I'm assuming whichever one the next one is.
Unplugged is in
Unplugged
3
is
weeks
soon.
or something.
Yeah, PAX
First
Unplugged's in
weekend.
3 weeks.
Well, I know I'm going to GaryCon in March. Woo! Oh, you mean the East over there? I'm going to be at a convention, Emerald City Comic Con. Maybe whatever PAX West thing or whatever's happening on the West Coast these days. I'm more likely to, since I'm on the West Coast. That sometimes I end up at the Legion M booth at those things, and but sometimes I'll come to the East again.
Yeah. We
definitely go into Gen Con all the time, right? We go, that's the Dwarven Forge goes to Gen Con. We always have.
Except for this year. Really.
And once in a while, I don't know, Nate, are there any other shows in the works, or are we still
It
worried
depends on what the state of the pandemic is. We're,
all about the pandemic?
we're all pretty
right?
shell-shocked. In New York here, we're still shell-shocked from the first wave really like ripped through here like nobody's business. So we've been like kind of groundhogs, like, peeking out of the hole, like looking for the shadow and kind of, I don't know, haven't been out to anything. We'll see what spring brings.
We definitely don't want an
I miss it
outbreak
so badly.
of COVID in the Dwarven Forge office,
Yeah, we've had very, very few, like we've just been sort of cordoned off in here. We've had only a couple of people in and mostly just staying, just trying to be really cautious. We don't want to get anybody sick on this end. But
Yep.
I would love to do PAX East in the spring, GaryCon, Gen Con, all the Gamehole Con, all the next year. Hopefully, we'll be in I don't know.
Yeah, I think we saw
I
Gen
went to
Con.
Gamehole. I went to
Yeah.
Gamehole Con just recently. Great show. I recommend it. Gamehole Con.
Everybody loves Gamehole Con.
The next one is GaryCon. I usually host the Black Sabbath party.
It's true.
We'll do another one, right?
Yeah, heck yeah.
I'm buying the beer and I'm playing the music.
Oh boy. It's the best.
I tried to do it at Gen Con. I tried to have an impromptu Black Sabbath thing in the lobby of one, and some guy charged me and almost attacked me.
Like physically charged, it came at you.
Yeah, he was frothing at the mouth. He came charging at me, and then Satine Phoenix and Jameson grabbed him away. My
I think it's
bodyguards.
Safe to say he
they're
was a
pretty
Black
buff,
Sabbath fan.
They calmed him down. He got in my face. He's like, "Who are you? Who are you? Who are you?" And I was like, "I'm me. I'm me. I'm me."
I'm me. I can't see why that conversation went off the rails.
Iron Man is playing, and he's losing his mind. It's like, we're trying to game here. I'm like, So
It is the lobby of a hotel. I don't know if they have that much expectation of like quiet, but I mean,
you were there too. Luke.
I was
You were
there.
right.
I
You
was
remember
there.
that?
I mean, yeah.
We just come back from eating. We drank so much sake.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that
We
was
were
great.
at that Japanese place down the way, and we drank so much sake. We were like in this private room, and we took over that whole room, and we were really sloshed. And then, then the incident occurred, and
The incident.
thankfully no one was hurt.
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
but
think some feelings
that's
might have
why I
been
should
mildly
only do
damaged.
sanctioned events. They have to be sanctioned.
That's
so that
right.
these guys don't charge me. You
Wow.
know?
We've discovered if you pre-plan it and you post up at the sign that says this time Black
Yes.
Sabbath party,
Yes.
free beer, then people
Free beer,
get more
sanctioned.
friendly. Yep.
It works out much better than you just randomly walk in somewhere and crank it at 10.
Turns
Does
out,
not work well.
not everybody's buckled
Not
up and ready
everyone's
for
down.
this. Oh. So, Stefan, before we wrap up, do you have any parting words of wisdom for the for our audience? Luke, do you have any parting words of wisdom?
Yeah, I
For
would
Stefan?
say, I would say from what Stefan has done is embrace your dream, right?
Yeah.
Go for it. You're going to make some mistakes along the way. I think he's kind of said as much here. But you know what? If it's what you love, you have the passion, you have a good product, right? You're willing to learn, to develop, and to really pour yourself into this, to embody what this is, to make this not just your occupation, but like who you are. It's your purpose, right? If you can do that, and you can find something like that and do it, I think that's the secret to success. I mean, you may not be driving a Bugatti or whatever it is and living in a villa, but I bet you'll find what you need and you'll have a good life. You'll feel fulfilled. And there's something to be said about that. So, I mean, I think that's what I've taken away. And Stefano just had amazing luck and, great, happy person to be around. So it's a real honor to call you a friend. And I'm so excited and I feel lucky. I just feel like I'm excited for you to all the great stuff that's going on with Dwarven Forge and the great team you have built around you.
Well, those are words
That
of
was
wisdom.
excellent words from the leader of men. And I want to say, like it came to me, when you do something that you love in life, you do something you love, that's the reward. It's not about making the money. I mean, you want to make some money, but the point is when you do something that you love, and it may be difficult, but you're doing what you love, and that's the passion. And the odds are, as D&Ders, we think about odds and numbers. When you do something you love, you end up working harder at it than you would anything else. And you love it so much, you usually end up being pretty good at it if you do something you love. And then later, good things will happen. And if nothing good ever happens, well, you've spent your life doing what you like. So it's a win-win that you can't lose. That's my theory.
And the
I
internet
mean, you
connect
could die. Obviously, you could die doing what you love or whatever, but you could die doing what you don't love too.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
So
If you're doing something you love, the internet will connect you to other people that love that thing, and
you could
it can
also
grow
go
from there.
broke doing what you don't like. You could work for someone else your whole life and never make any money. You could work for a job that you hate and not make any money and then get laid off. You might as well do what you love.
True.
That's my advice.
Well, that's a good night to go out on. Well, Luke, thanks for coming by and hanging out with us. Stefan,
My pleasure.
thanks
Thank
for,
you so much.
And
Thanks
I
for
will
telling
see
the
you
short
soon on
story
your
version.
the Luke's Hangout, right?
Yeah, that's right. I'm going to be on Discord on the GaryCon Discord server in the Luke's Lounge room, and we're just going to talk just BS. We're getting started, and I'm going to have a beer now that I'm off.
We're gonna continue this at Luke's
not.
Lounge.
What how can people follow you on social media or whatever? Where should they find you, Luke?
You can find me on pretty much anywhere at Luke Gygax, just at Luke Gygax. That's me. Same Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course, GaryCon.com. If you want to sign up for GaryCon 14, which is happening March 24th to 27th, just go to play.garycon.com, and that'll take you to the place to buy a badge and do all those things.
And Stefan, where should people follow you if they want to keep abreast of your antics? Maybe best that they don't.
We're right here. Dwarvenforge.com. Dwarvenforge.com. What do I have? I'm also on Twitter.
Yes.
I don't remember what my
Dwarven.
Twitter.
I think you're at Stefan.
Stefan Dwarven. That's Stefan Dwarven.
Yeah. Stefan Dwarven
Right.
at
And there's
Twitter,
an
Twitter.
Instagram, but I can't remember what it was. Zaltar or something.
Yeah, it's one of your characters.
It's my character, Zaltar.
If you can find me, I tagged him in some recent post, so you'll find Stefan.
Yeah. And everyone, you've got to get some reliquaries in your life. I'm telling you, these
Thanks.
things are going to be collector's items, and watch the videos. They're such great videos. They're such great lives. You can watch them now if you missed them and explain all the marvelous ways you can use them. And now we have a great, and let's say you don't want to use them as a die holder. You can use them as terrain pieces. Although I'm going to use them, I have a lot of really fancy, expensive dice.
You've got
Believe
some cool
me,
dice.
These are going in a glass case. I'm going to put my beautiful opal dice and my, meteor dice are going to be sitting in these beautiful holders and not just sitting on, in a bag or display your dice with pride. That's what I'm saying. No one's ever tried this before. We're innovators. That's what we do here. We innovate. And if you like art and innovation, show some support and buy something. Give us a nod. Help us
A
out
nod
for being
with your checkbook.
for doing what we do at the very least. Thank you for your support.
I mean, to that point, what identifies you? What's the iconic thing that identifies you as a gamer? What's the symbol that we all use?
Dice.
20-sided die, right? That 20-sided die is synonymous with gamers, right? So there you go. Are
Give it
you
somewhere to
gonna
live.
you gotta
So
fly
many
your
styles to
geek
choose.
flag?
So many styles to pick, styles to pick and to choose, and you can find a favorite one. They make great gifts.
They do.
Oh my God! You don't know what to give someone. If you give them a set of reliquaries, they'll always think of you, remember you every time they put their dice in them. You know what I'm saying?
So
All right, am I selling it now?
You
Is it
sold.
working?
So we'll be back
All right.
tomorrow at 3 p.m. with a painter stream showing some of the, I don't know, what are we going to show, the techniques? We're going to paint stuff live? What's going on? We don't know. Something was going to happen tomorrow at 3
stuff.
p.m. with the painters.
Yeah.
And then on
Painters.
Tuesday we have with 7 p.m. with, is that Fantasy Across Media?
Yeah, it's kind of the way that fantasy bleeds between different forms of media. We're going to have Sarah from Mustang's Art on there, along with Matt Lillard and Jake Stormone.
Should be fun.
Yeah.
And then
Did you see the football players? We had football players on here.
yeah, touchdowns and
nuts.
tabletops and touchdowns on Thursday last week. And then we have a couple more. We're gonna unbox Wednesday. We're gonna unbox the Wildlands. We got that thing. Q&A, and then Thursday we have with
Thursday we have-
Sephiroth,
Thursday,
Mermaid Royal, and
Thursday we have our
Brendan Lee
final.
Mulligan, right?
Yeah, Thursday's our final guest stream. We've got Jude, also known as Mermaid Royal. We've got Persephoroth, and we've got Brendan Lee Mulligan talking about how you can use, kind of taking these fantasy rule sets and how you can tell kind of modern stories with them. They're all very good at adapting these rule sets
Bending the
to
rules.
tell stuff that's outside of like your standard fantasy settings. And yeah.
So we got a lot. We'll stream every day until this Kickstarter ends, and then we'll go dark for a little bit. But thanks
And then
for.
you can sleep because
yeah.
you're not getting any sleep over there. I can see it.
They're a little tuckered out, but we'll get through it. But thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you guys. Thanks Luke and Stefan, hanging out. And,
We're coming into the home stretch.
Yeah.
We're coming into the home stretch. That's
6
going to be
days.
crazy
Six
last few
days.
days. Spread the word, everybody.
Happy 25th anniversary!
25
Yay!
years of madness. Dwarven
I'm counting.
Forge. Woo! Woohoo!
Good night.
See you later, guys. Bye.
Bye.